Okay, welcome everyone. Hopefully you are in the right place. This is the SMP AV Tips and Tricks webinar. We are being hosted by Peter Groskopf, who is our video product specialist. Couple quick housekeeping items before I hand it over to Peter. The webinar is being recorded. We will have some live time at the very end of the presentation for Q&A, but if you have questions throughout the presentation, feel free to go ahead and put them in the Q&A section in WebEx, and we will make sure that we cover those at the end. And with that, I will hand it over to Peter.
Thank you, Jennifer. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. As Jennifer mentioned, I'm Peter Groskopf. I'm a video product specialist here at SMP, part of the Collaboration Solution Architect team, primarily focused on the user experience as it relates to collaboration technologies in the conference room and across your enterprise. In today's session, we are going to discuss your conference room AV systems, common practices, how to identify risk, and how to better support those systems proactively. And so here we go. I'll start this off with quick introductions to SMP and who we are. SMP delivers strategic value-based IT solutions for security, collaboration, infrastructure, and digital workspaces. And we also provide managed, professional, lifecycle, and staffing services. As part of our collaboration suite, we specialize in AV solution design and implementation, working with industry-leading manufacturers like Cisco, Crestron, Extron, Vbrick, Barco, and Industry Weapon, to provide control platforms that integrate various systems and technologies so they work together as a single system. SMP is located across New York and New England. The agenda for today's call will look to identify common AV challenges in the AV integrated room systems and then how to remediate issues. We will also discuss the importance of adhering to standards, both with design and when considering the user experience. I mention Avixa here as they are the organization that sets the AV industry standards in technology design and procedures that focus on reliability, competency, and success. Designers and installation technicians should meet CTS certifications. These certs are governed by Avixa and set the level for experience, knowledge, and competencies across the industry. So, no matter which certified technician or vendor you're working with, an expectation of quality, performance, and support is being met. And lastly, we'll touch on management tools and services that can assist with critical activities like capacity planning, understanding usage, and finding and tracking issues. And so the reason we're here today is discuss AV and how to avoid those trouble calls, how to identify issues and trouble areas, and where to look for common fault points. Even more generally, how to keep things working so that your meetings are successful and your users are happy with the room systems. So first, let's look at what the user is experiencing. What creates anxiety in use, and what taxes your time and resources to support those room systems? Once we assess the pain points and identify those most common calls for support, we can then focus on remediating those issues first. So a common mistake is thinking that the end user will just figure it out. No matter our comfort level, we should not assume that the users are technical or even comfortable with technology. The higher the profile of the user, so like your C-level executives or physicians or law partners or whomever, there's a perceived higher risk in implementing new or complex technologies the higher up the food chain you go. Complexity in use leads to frustration and anxiety, so we need to ask ourselves, how complex is the room system? Really? Do you have executives that require a live resource on hand for those important meetings? Do they require assistance even when joining an audio bridge? Is there a control system that causes anxiety? Lots of these have lots of buttons, lots of options, for that general meeting. And are the people nervous to even use the system in general? Because it may not have been reliable for them. And do they trust it to work the same way every time? And with all that, we need to start with collecting a log of the call tickets. And this is where you find trends. And answers to these questions will come into focus and show you where you need to upgrade or optimize the room system operations. I mentioned that we shouldn't assume the users are technical because for the most part, that's not their job. They have people like us as their AV and IT support resources. We are problem solvers, educated technology experts, oftentimes certified engineers, and when things go well, we're heroes who they rely on because we're able to respond at a moment's notice and provide the technical assistance to perform the desired functionality just in the nick of time. Until you're not there, or maybe you're on vacation, or you simply can't resolve the issue in time. And then what? That's right, Jennifer, sadness. So where do we start? How do we stop this madness? What steps can we take to lessen these service calls, increase the time to remediation, reduce the reliance on help desk resources? Have we identified the most common issues or faults in a conference room? Are these technical or hardware issues? Oftentimes, it's physical connection points, HDMI cables, connectors, plugged into a table jack, or lots of times they're wrapped around the edge of a table to a wall jack. These are real liabilities. Do I need to switch display inputs for different room uses? One for video conferencing, another input for presentations? Is there confusion on just what is supposed to show up on what screen? Are the displays out of sync, sometimes with each other, or the projectors showing faults like lamp hour warnings or filter needs cleaning? How about wireless sharing and connectivity? Is there an IP address or a code that's supposed to appear somewhere that helps me connect? Maybe it's on a certain screen or deep within the order of operations in the process. Does my system even support personal devices, or does it only work for my corporate laptop? You know, it worked for Mary yesterday. How come I can't get it to work today? What is she using that I'm not? Or is it simply operator error? Someone that is non-technical or maybe an infrequent user, like an admin assistant that's struggling, or worse, an executive that's left to figure it out. You know this already. You deal with these scenarios all the time. I'm just calling attention to them. But this is where you need to assess your current environment. Or you have someone like SMP come in, and we can perform an assessment and document the current processes to help you identify those trouble areas. Trust me, everyone is aware of these pain points. You're simply taking the lead to remediate and be that hero you always wanted to be. So besides technology or physical connection points, what are other common challenges? How about a complicated control system? One that requires a number of steps for an audio call, a video bridge, or simple presentations. Or network connectivity, quality of service, or available bandwidth are also common issues. Do you have a team or a sufficient available resources to properly support the number of rooms in your system? Who gets the call when support is needed? Is this a person? Is it a team? Are they properly enabled themselves? Do they truly understand how the room is supposed to function? Finally, a majority of times, insufficient end-user training is a major hindering factor. This brings us back to an earlier point about non-technical users. Have they been properly trained on the use of the rooms? Oftentimes, they were shown by another user and have simply picked up bad habits or fallen into old habits along the way. What I'm saying here is there's no simple answer. There's no single issue between companies. There are only common use scenarios. It's up to you to identify the specific problem areas and take the steps to minimize risk. Currently, we see a lot of meeting rooms around in businesses and organizations like this one, with similar siloed technologies and usage applications. Each solution was added as the wants or the needs are introduced. One for local meetings, one for audio conference, one for multimedia, one for video, one for whiteboarding or even content creation. Things do not work well together or even at all. And it's a lot of friction and pain to utilize everything in an efficient manner. What's the worst thing then? When things don't work. You have to try and replicate a problem when someone says that they had, or you have to try and recreate the sequence of events and you still can't figure it out. Was it user error? Was it a network-related issue that has now passed? Is it physical equipment? These unknowns equate to even more frustration. Remember, your day is better managed when you can plan ahead. When you invest time in the proper design of a room on a local and especially enterprise level, you can better manage your daily tasks and resource requirements. Your time spent chasing down issues is lost, and your day shouldn't be consumed by trouble tickets, but rather productive work that can be scheduled and planned for. So now we've invested some time into logging our common issues and identified where there are areas of risk or concern. Now we need to look forward to remediating or upgrading these room systems. And in doing so, we need to consider the following. The solution needs to be scalable. A room cannot serve a standalone purpose. You need to standardize on room templates, like small, medium, large size rooms, training rooms, executive use rooms. The system has to be easy, or else what are we accomplishing with this upgrade? This is very important regardless of the room size. Flexible capabilities. What is the company standard? Are we still supporting VGA or DisplayPort, HDMI? Are we supporting BYOD? This should be set, not by one person, but rather by committee. And secure network connectivity is also important. There are a lot of AV products out there that all require network access. You need to choose manufacturers that understand the need for secure encrypted content, secure communications and data across the network. And lastly, end user training, end user adoption training. This is all very important to any new system. This is a key factor to the success and implementation and to get a return on your investment. When we look at end user training and user adoption, it is important to understand how people consume information. You need to provide information that is targeted and easily understandable by your users. This may be hands-on interactive training in small groups over WebEx or even with on-demand videos. And with proper training, users will start using the system correctly, the right way, before they pick up those bad habits or revert back to their previous methods. And once they do start using the system the way it was designed, adoption grows, more collaboration occurs, and you see a return on the investment in these room systems and their technology. When designing a room system, understand that AV IT should not be setting the standards without understanding the user experience. You need to remember who the actual user is. Administrators using the system for internal presentations and calls, sales teams, which is high-profile customer-facing presentations, and executives, even higher profile, for critical audio and video use. The system needs to work consistently, reliably, every time. And for that to carry through, we need to look at standardizing those rooms in operation. Standardizing creates less reliance on the technical staff. More reliable use equates to lower anxiety, greater adoption of the technology investment, lowered criticality, priority of support issues. These faults are minimized. And because of that, emergencies are eliminated. Less reactive responses allow you to better manage your time for scheduled service maintenance upgrades, not always responding to every single call. And when meetings go well, we're happy campers. Best practices when considering upgrades or a change in technology direction. Don't make siloed decisions. Get feedback, talk to vendors, see what everyone else is doing. Industry standards should be met, not invented. Understand your company's meeting room needs and their vision for collaboration. Are face-to-face meetings a requirement now? Is audio conferencing a necessity for larger auditoriums, or are committee meetings being streamed? And understand what purpose the room serves and who the users of the room are going to be. Give them a say in the features or expectations as to how the room is to function. And also recognize that old guys like me use technology different than someone who may rely on apps or mobile devices over traditional hardware-based solutions. These trends continue to evolve. And lastly, realize chasing faults is not job security. My advice, keep it simple. And when you start to consider a management system, some of the industry leaders here in this space are Crestron Fusion, XIO Cloud, Extron as Global Viewer, there's Barco Overture, Biopta. You need to understand that all of these give you some type of visibility, but collectively you need them to be capable of remote help desk visibility, a dashboard that gives you room system status, room system access, remote management, all within one view. You need one that can track and analyze usage trends to help you make informed decisions about inventory and maintenance plans, and view devices and room usage trends to help improve the experience and forecast for growth. And you want a system that will simplify tasks with schedules to turn on displays at the end of the day, or schedules to turn off displays at the end of the day, say, and maybe turn them on as people report to work the next day, or schedule reminders for maintenance or support tasks. And of course, monitor the status of all the AV equipment. Proactively monitor and remediate issues before they affect the next meeting. Get detailed alerts on issues like projector lamp life, or if the display unexpectedly goes offline. These types of enhanced monitoring and scheduling tools provide significant time and cost savings in the long run. So for this call, there were 3 points we were looking to address. Common fault points, steps to remediation. When considering upgrades, choosing industry standards in design and implementation. And implementing a management strategy so you can proactively support these and those who rely on you for the for the operation of their systems. These are your company executives, your coworkers, your customers. And what is your plan to support them? You don't have to go it alone. SMP can help here with an innovative new approach to supporting you, your users, and your environment. When you look at the data that is available via the systems in these conference rooms, it's pretty powerful. Data on the current state of the AV gear, is it online, on the correct input, is the network optimized for video calls? Data that can provide us feedback on the video systems, feedback on the user experience, and analytics on common room use, like how many people are in the room. Is it sized properly for the average use? Was the room system used for presentation only? Was there an audio call, a video call, web conference, etc.? This data delivers value by providing a tangible return on your investment that increases user adoption, ease and usability, and manageability from a support perspective. SMP offers smart managed collaboration services provided by or powered by AVA. It's an advanced tool using digital workers or robotic process automation to reduce the tasks that require human intervention. This gives us visibility into your environment, specifically around video-enabled conference rooms, where we can also see things like what the infrastructure looks like, what the room characteristics, like microphones or displays are doing, or even better, meeting analytics as it relates to the call quality of your video conference. And even more importantly, what about the experience of the people in the room? AVA, our collaboration digital worker, is also looking at the meeting experience analytics. One of the things we have done is gotten into the Cisco Touch 10 to prompt for feedback after the meeting or the room use that just occurred, asking more about what did you just think of the experience. Taking that information to troubleshoot in that environment, both from a codec standpoint, but also third-party tools for details on specific feedback that was just given by the user. Data and analytics are then available via the SMP client portal. This provides you with the visibility and reporting that you need as a person responsible for successful use of meeting room technology. And that's really what AVA is able to do for us. Proactive support, real-time awareness in monitoring the meeting activity, and providing a means for someone to even escalate a call request while the meeting is in progress, which can be tied into your CRM, your help desk ticketing system for tracking and responses if desired. And why do we do this? And why am I bringing it up here today? Meeting delays, room experience, a poor room experience, lack of visibility are all problems in the AV space. And when we look at all the tasks and steps that we take to try and ensure a higher quality meeting experience with less downtime and greater awareness to what is going on in your environment, we simply lose time that could be better utilized elsewhere or even toward future initiatives. Insight management, process automation, and analytics all play an important role in maintaining your AV systems and in your job performance. We roll AVA up into our smart-centered managed services offering so we can provide you outstanding assistance where needed and help you in gaining insight and control in your environment on so many levels. And in case the family asks you about it tonight, our SMP Smart Center is headquartered and staffed 24/7 in Rochester, New York. In closing, what does your technology roadmap look like? Are you addressing the immediate needs and challenges? Do you have a plan for growth? Are your plans to improve upon or build a reliable working system? And ultimately, now that you have a number of high-use room systems, How are you going to manage and support, monitor the room use, and regain your time? I hope our time here was helpful and gave you some points of reference when it comes to identifying and remediating issues. So if there are any follow-up questions, or if you want to hear more, feel free to reach out to us directly, contact your account manager. We'll follow up with you as well after this call. And if there's anything you need to address or anything specific, love to be part of those conversations. So thank you all for your time. Have a great day. Jennifer, any parting words?
I think that's it. Thanks, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.